Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to make my maiden speech on an issue that has such huge importance for so many in my constituency and beyond. But I want to start by praising my predecessor, Theresa Pearce. Many in this House will know her as a fighter, a socialist and a feminist. Absolutely. She served our community with passion and distinction, first as a councillor and then as a champion in this place. Many of my newly elected colleagues will have big boots to fill, but none so much more than me. I'm sure the whole House will join me in wishing her a very well-earned and happy retirement. I'd also like to pay tribute to Theresa's predecessor, John Austin, who has given me fantastic support. He now spends time with his family and his allotment. John, if you're watching this, I'm still waiting for my jam. Each of us, Madam Deputy Speaker, have travelled our own paths to represent our constituents in this House. This morning, I travelled by tube and train, just in case you're wondering, Deputy Madam Speaker. In all seriousness, I stand here along with my friend, the Member of Parliament for Streatham, as the joint first female MP of Ghanaian descent. My journey into politics hasn't been easy. I didn't come from a political background. I remember telling a careers advisor that I wanted to get into politics and know more about working for an MP. I was laughed at and literally told that the chances of someone like me getting a job in Parliament would be very slim and not to even bother trying. I won't break parliamentary privilege of this House by naming him, but I hope he's watching me now. So when I see injustice, I always turn anger into action. That feeling of unfairness drove me to challenge the barriers that I faced as a black woman. I became the first ever black chair of the Labour Women's Network, and I mentor and train many women like me who don't normally get a chance in politics. It's also why I became a Unison grassroots trade unionist. I'm able to represent my community in part thanks to the trailblazers who came before us. Lord Barton, Bernie Grant, Baroness Amos, and of course, the Member of Parliament for Hackney North and Stoke Newington. Their legacy in the House can be seen throughout the chamber today, and they remain an inspiration to those of us who followed them. I'm also standing here on the shoulders of our centenary of sisters who have come before me, and I'm also delighted that the Parliamentary Labour Party now reflects the gender breakdown of the country. 51% female, 51% female. As the chair of the Labour Women's Network, building on the network of predecessors, Liv Bailey and Jo Cox MP, I couldn't be prouder of the role that the Labour Women's Network has played in training hundreds of women for public office, introducing and defending all women shortlists, tackling sexual harassment and abusive language in politics, ending the scourge of all male panels, and introducing parental leave arrangements for councillors and MPs. Madam Deputy Speaker, my constituency of Erith and Thamesmead is diverse, beautiful and fascinating. Erith Piers offers stunning views of the Thames. Crosner's pumping engine, built by Sir Joseph Bazalgate, is a Victorian engineering masterpiece described as a cathedral to ironworking. The ruins of the Abbey at Lesness is a scheduled ancient monument haunted by the ghost of one of its former monks. Why not come for a visit, Madam Deputy Speaker? And I'll treat you to a fryer at Zahira's Cafe in Plumstead, or some chips from a frying pan in Belvedere, or a cheeky cake from the bakery in Northampton Heath. Or come and see the mighty Erith Town Football Club, and I'll bring along some Ghanaian jollof rice, accept no imitations. There is one aspect which I admit that my seat is sadly lacking, which is we have only one part of London without a train station. Simply put, Madam Deputy Speaker, that must change, and I'll be campaigning with local people to ensure that Thamesmead is well and truly put on the transport map. Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm here today to debate homelessness, an issue that sadly all too many of my constituents have experienced firsthand. Across the country, numbers of people are forced to rely on temporary accommodation are stark. but it's the stories behind the statistics that are truly heartbreaking. The family placed in accommodation 2 journeys from their children's school, travelled from hours to and from, desperately trying to ensure their children can make it to school while they try to get to work. The mum and her infant daughter placed in a hotel that has no fridge for her to store her milk. The family with a young child placed by another borough into a shared property with someone on the sex offenders register. Each of us in this place today will have our own litany of examples, each harrowing and each of them a stain on this reputation of this government. Madam Deputy Speaker, the government must step up to end homelessness rather than stepping over the homeless to get into this place. Madam Deputy Speaker, the housing crisis is one of the greatest injustices of our time. The people of Erith and Thamesmead have put their faith in me, and I will always fight to ensure that they have a safe and secure place to call home. So when I see injustice, I always turn anger into action. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.